What's going on, guys? Pixelated back at it again with another review. Today we are reviewing the Adidas X Kith Trail Boost, one of the most sought after secondary shoes in a consortium collab. I'm sure many of us are familiar, but for those who don't know, each Adidas consortium collab has two different sneaker models dropped. For example, the Naked collab had us seeing the Naked Ultra Boost as well as the Naked Samba, similar to the Livestock Pure Boost and the Livestock Samba, and so on and so forth. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, the Solebox Ultra Boost dropped solely on its own. See what I did there? Kith dropped the Adidas Ultra Boost Mid, as seen in my previous video, and the secondary sneaker was this, the Kith Trail Boost. Now, for the most part, the secondary sneaker, although still sells out eventually, doesn't normally sell out on drop as it's not as hyped or as demanded. This, however, is an exception. Every store that dropped the Kith Ultra Boost and sold out immediately also sold out of these. There were a few stores where it sat for a bit, but you won't see them around anywhere anymore. Fortunately for me, by the grace of the hype gods, after taking L's on many drops, I was able to grab a pair off Haven's website, one of like 3-4 Canadian boutiques, to get these in the size that I wanted. I should mention before I forget that I went half a size down in these and they fit perfect. At first I was concerned because it definitely felt like I should have went true to size. My toes were hitting the front, scratch that, they were smashing the front, and it was just an uncomfortable feeling. Thankfully these broke in on the first wear and now they fit perfect. As I mentioned, these shoes were part of the Kith Aspen collab alongside the Ultra Boost Mid. Ronnie Feig and Kith also dropped an entire collection of clothing with Columbia for that collaboration. I happen to cop a few things and we'll be reviewing them at the end of this video. That's right, we hype dress not just our feet, but the rest of our chiseled bods too. Now, if you haven't caught on, the Kith X Aspen collab was a very winter-themed collab with pieces that were made strictly to handle the frigid and cold climates of Aspen. When a brand collaborates with Columbia, I guess you shouldn't be expecting otherwise. Being from Canada, I felt right at home, so you know I had to grab whatever I could. It's cold in these streets. No, like it's f***ing cold in these streets. Hand me some sheep wool gloves to keep my digits toasty. Now, you might be wondering, hey, you got the Kith Ultra Boost. Those were the must-haves for you. Why'd you get these? Well, I'll tell you why. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge Kith stan. I might not always buy because that would be costly, but I'm always on the lookout. For this pair in particular, aside from the fact that I actually like the Adidas Trail Boost silhouette in general, I kind of felt obligated to complete the set since this is the first Adidas Boost collab Kith has ever done, and both shoes are Boost shoes. I'm very picky with my shoes and clothing, and I've been putting off on buying a pair of winter shoes for the longest time because I couldn't decide what I wanted, hoping to get something either for a steal or something I really want that catches my eye. This caught my eye. Not only does it seem winter friendly because of the neoprene layer lining inside the shoe, but the outsole looks like it can handle a lot of snowy street busting. And here you see me getting attacked by a few rabid dogs. I always wanted a pair of Trail Boosts since I first saw the green pair, but always ended up passing them off. Since so many hot shoes release nowadays, it's hard to make time for the ones that are always there. But I'm kinda glad I held off for so long because now it gave me the perfect opportunity to cop these. The upper is made of several different materials. The toe guard is made of a clean quality nubuck that wraps around the medial and lateral sides of the shoe and ends at the beginning of the lace holes or eyelets. The lace holes are carried by two straps on each side of the shoe that tighten together to keep your foot in place. These straps have the 3 stripes branding twice on each side of the shoe. The lower outer strap has 3 stripes in this light blue tint with very small speckled dots on it, while the upper strap on the outside is black. The inner top strap is white with the same small speckling, while the inner lower strap is the same monochromatic black as the outer. The toe box is layered with a double nylon mesh combo that adds rigidity and makes the shoe more sturdy and averse to getting its butt handed to it and tore up in a rough hike, trail, or whatever else y'all like to do in these. The heel is wrapped in another quality nubuck panel that wraps around the medial and lateral sides of the shoe as well. These nubuck panels are actually really nice, like you can actually see different shades when you rub across it. Not typical of regular nubuck. It is a darker navy than the toe box and is embossed with the Kith Aspen logo. We then have the most significant part of the shoe in my opinion being the neoprene liner that layers under the majority of the upper and makes up the ankle collar. This will keep your feet warm and waterproof for the most part, unless you're being rowdy and swimming in 4 feet of snow. I would probably borderline pass on these shoes if it wasn't for the neoprene, because what's the point? I'm not looking to lose my toes in winter 2017. Keep them warm, neoprene. The outside is what is known as a traction outsole, presumably because it gives you mad traction. Just look at this thing. Looks like a damn Michelin snow tire. Could probably stop on a dime at a polar bear crossing. The midsole does have boost in it, but it's important to note that it's not a full boost midsole. The boost is only at the heel and the forefoot of the shoe. No boost in between. To top it off, literally because they're on the top of the shoe, You have the pull tabs in a pink salmon colorway on the back of the shoe, and we have pink tongue tabs with Adidas and RF co-branding on the front with Consortium handshake logos on the back. Which I should mention, most if not all Consortium shoes that have the tongue tab have the Consortium logo on the back of the tongue tab. I for some reason always forget to mention that in my review, so here is me making up for it. This shoe did come with multiple laces, the original being the dark navy similar to the color of the heel panel, and the two alternative laces, one being dark navy with pink stripes and the other being dark navy with lighter navy stripes. I feel like the second laces look too similar to the originals and aren't very noticeable, so this is an easy no-brainer for me to go with the dark navy laces with the pink stripes. The colorway is very reminiscent, if not an exact blueprint, of the color palette used for Ronnie Fieg's iconic Asics Gel Light 3 salmon toes, which might be why I'm so drawn to these shoes. Compensating for taking the L's on salmon toes? Possibly. Now we're at that point. You might be asking, so what's the verdict? Is this shoe a must-have? Do you recommend this shoe? Did it fulfill a lot of your dying wishes and demands and prove it worthy of your ownership? Well, take a breather, will ya? Let me tell you. So yes, I 100% recommend the shoe. Without a doubt, it's a stylish shoe and performs in rigid weather. I bought this primarily as my winter beater, and I have no question that it will swiftly fulfill that task. Is this a must-have? That's a tricky one. If it was really up to me, I'd say yes, 100%. But the fact is, setting aside its versatility, there's a specific purpose for the shoe, and many people who live in cities or countries in urban areas with warmer climates wouldn't really find purpose in the sneaker. The thick tire-like sole does nothing for you on sidewalk streets. Without cold or snow, the neoprene liner is just there to soak your feet in sweat instead of protecting you from the elements. My one gripe with this shoe is that the neoprene liner and ankle opening isn't nearly snug enough to keep my heel in place. And this is a big issue for me, because my heel keeps raising off of the footbed and it doesn't necessarily protect my foot from the cold wind entirely. So this nearly perfect sneaker does have one glaring flaw. With that being said, it's still a great in-between shoe. It has the looks and the function of a winter boot. I won't say it's the warmest shoe to wear in the cold, but it's definitely up there. Warmer than my 750s, which are a high top sneaker. It's super light for a shoe that's meant to brave frigid conditions and yet still manages to be functional and look great. A bit of boost in the heel and forefoot of the sole adds to make the shoe light, tough, and comfortable all at the same time. Much like the Kith Columbia 3-in-1 interchangeable jacket that I reviewed in part 1 of the Kith Aspen series, this shoe is similarly somewhat of a versatile all-in-one sneaker. It's the perfect Canadian hypebeast sneaker. It's that heat that you can wear in the winter and not worry about beating them up. I definitely recommend grabbing a pair as soon as possible, because who knows where resale will go in the future. How I'd recommend styling for these, I'd definitely recommend going with something more outerwear friendly and overall aesthetic with layers, or something that gives off a more open or comfy feel or look, as opposed to a sleek skinny jeans or fitted shirts or fitted outfits. I mean, that could work in its own ironic way, but this shoe is a little chunky looking for the most part and suits more of a fall winter aesthetic. I recommend wearing a pair of jeans or pants with stack at the bottom, cuffed ends, or a slight taper to tuck between the neoprene liner, because it'll help fill some of that extra space around it, and the shoes look better that way. Onto my outfit. My pants are from Uniqlo, some form of heat tech or block tech joggers. I'm not sure the model or style code that Uniqlo would have for these, but they're navy joggers with heat sealing technology to keep you warm, and trust me, they do their job. My balls were moist. You didn't need to know that. Up top is all the Kith gear from the Kith X Aspen collab. We have the Columbia 3-in-1 jacket as an interchangeable jacket that I reviewed in part 1. Go check that out to see more of the jacket. We then have the Kith Columbia Core Fleece hoodie in the Crater colorway and the pink gator. Sorry for the clip chopping off a bit of my head. You can see the pants and jacket match really well with the fit. The core fleece is extremely warm and has a ton of neat details. The sleeves are open enough for me to wear warm base layer long sleeves underneath. We can see the waistband draw ropes at the bottom, which they say are for tightening, but it's really just aesthetic in my opinion. Who really needs waistband draw ropes? We then see draw ropes at the hood with Kith Columbia co-branding as well, and the adjustable wrist straps with what are known as a bungee and toggle also have some Kith branding on them. There's a ton of Kith branding on the hoodie and jacket as well. They're really just neat touches to already beautiful pieces. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the review. If you got something out of the review, please subscribe, please like the video. What did you think about the collab? Did you like it? Are you from warmer climates and couldn't care less? Did you enjoy the shoes? Did you buy them? Let me know your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. With all that being said, have a good day. Pixelated out.